Next week on We Want to Believe.
We have a special event. We are going to be recording the last episode of our season 3 live on Zoom. You will be able to come in, post comments, ask us questions. It'll be great. That will be Tuesday, May 6th at 2 p.m. Central. You can get that link on our Instagram page on the link in our bio.
And now on to this week's episode. I'm Helen.
And I'm Liz.
And we're sisters,
Scientists.
and lifelong X-Files fans.
And this is We Want to Believe.
Welcome back.
Welcome, colleagues. Sorry for our week off. We were both sick.
Yep. I just had a bad cold. Is that what you had as well?
Yeah, I think so. It's still here. Like, I'm still coughing. We'll probably have to have Zach edit out parts where I cough a bunch. I feel pretty okay. I just am coughing too much.
Yeah, same. Exactly. Same. Yeah.
We must have the same thing,
Yeah.
but I don't really know how that works or how the timing was.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can think of is that around Easter, the day before Easter, my youngest son had a bit of a runny nose, but it was while we were outside in the rain. And that was
Yeah.
that, and then didn't have it again.
Yeah,
So,
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so who knows? Germs.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, here we are.
Yeah.
And just so you know, listeners, today's episode, we're talking about Wet Wired.
Yes.
And then after Wet Wired, our next episode is the last episode of the X-Files season 3. So we're going to end our We Want to Believe season 3 that same week. But then we'll pick it back up again in the fall.
Yep. We have more summer. Well, you're going literally all over the world.
I am.
Yeah. You're going to Japan for the first time.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe there'll be spooky Japan stuff. I don't know.
Ooh.
They have different spooky stuff. I mostly just want to get like weird stuff I can't find here.
Yeah. I don't know why this made me think of it, but have you read the book, The City of Brass? Yeah.
Mm-mm. I've heard it's really good, but I haven't read it.
It is incredible. Like, it is one of my favorite book series.
God.
And it made me think of it because it's set in East Africa, in the Middle East, in the Arabian Peninsula. And I know that's like a really big region, but it takes place in a really big region. I'm not reducing that to
I know.
one. Okay.
Yes.
And so there's like so much different mythology,
Ah.
but it's not, like the typical dragons, fairies, like, it's got all this other interesting mythology that I didn't know about. And they're great books.
Awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of great books, I am fully enthralled by your newest book, which is not out yet, everyone. But
yeah.
Oh, ha.
Suck it, listeners. You can't read it yet.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So
Thank you. Yay.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
And
it.
just imagine how good it would be if Hugo wasn't accidentally spoiling things for you.
Yeah. Although, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
My 7-year-old nephew has not read this adult thriller, to be clear. He's just really into the idea of it.
Mhm. Yeah. He's a bit of a spooky kid. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have anything else?
I do, but I don't remember what it is. Yeah.
Well,
I got nothing. I do want to say, and this is putting you on the spot. I don't know why I'm saying this now, but like we said, okay, our episode, season 3, it'll end next week.
Yeah.
And then won't pick up again until the fall. I just want to throw out there, maybe we'll do like a one-off special episode in the summer if something
sure.
spooky. Oh my God, I knew I had something to talk about. Haha, I just had to go for a while. Oh wait, or did I already talk about it? Jesus Christ. Did we talk about the aliens?
The weird light you saw outside of your...
No, the real ones.
No? What real?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So there's an exoplanet that has signatures of life in its oceans.
Wait, what? Where?
Yeah. I mean, it's not nearby. It's an exoplanet, so it's outside of the solar system. This just got announced like a couple weeks ago.
Wait, what? What's it called? What do I look up?
I would go with exoplanet life, maybe.
What type of
Um,
life?
uh, small water bugs, they think. Yeah, New York Times. Astronomers detect a possible signature of life on a distant planet. New York Times article on April April 18th.
Oh, wow. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
it's on the planet K2-18b, and it's 120 light years from Earth, which I feel like is
Whoa.
kind of close, all things considered.
120 light. So it takes 120 years for light to reach
Hmm.
us.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like it's like early 1900s. When people were in like the early 1900s, there are these presumably little water guys on this planet. It's really exciting. Now, they do say here, this astronomer at Cambridge says it's in no one's interest to claim prematurely that we have detected life. But
Uh,
he does say, this is a revolutionary moment. It's the first time humanity has seen potential biosignatures on a habitable planet.
and what are these biosignatures? That's what I want to know. Like,
Yeah.
tell me more about the water bugs.
Um, okay, so they have it has dimethyl sulfide,
Huh.
which on Earth, the only source of dimethyl sulfide is life, and certain forms of algae produce it on Earth. And so that is why they think it could be a sign of life. And it also has hydrogen and methane and carbon compounds.
Get out. Where did the water bugs come from? Is that
Well, it's an ocean type planet, and
Oh,
so they
okay.
think it could be some little bugs was perhaps a little bit me, but
Oh,
it would be
okay.
something that
Okay.
lives in the water.
I was picturing what are water bears? I can't think of their name.
Oh, water bears.
Yeah,
What are they? They're real cute.
tardigrades.
Tardigrades.
Yeah. Yeah. I was looking for some recently. Me and Hugo were because they live in moss. And so if you hydrate moss for a while, sometimes they'll come out. And so if you look at hydrated moss or the water from it under a microscope, you can sometimes see tardigrades.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't think that we could see them with the naked eye, but it's with a microscope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like I mean, it's a light microscope, but it's like a $70 one from Amazon a few years ago. Like it's not like my nice big professional
Right.
ones. So,
Oh, so it's something people can do at home.
yeah. Mhm.
They have a microscope. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fun.
Now I just need to
Yeah.
get the telescope working finally. So,
Yeah, then you can look for them, the space tardigrades.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that is wild. I hadn't
Right?
heard that. Whoa. Wow.
I was deliberately not telling you until the podcast, but then we got sick and didn't record for a week and I forgot.
Oh man. Wow. Well, cool. Yeah. Oh, but for sure, I'm sure we can find sometime this summer to
Yeah, especially if something neat happens. Like, for
yeah.
example, they, are like, oh, it turns out they're actual full-on sea serpents on this planet, and we have to talk about that update or something.
God, that
Yeah,
would be great.
it really would.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it turns out that the Loch Ness Monster is an alien, which really seems like something the X-Files should have explored.
Yeah, Mulder would be thrilled.
Yeah.
This was a good episode.
Was it really? You were not looking forward to it.
No, I was not. I thought so last week we discussed like, oh, Wet Wired, another like machines kill people. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it was really good. And I
Really?
don't know if I've ever seen it. It was not exactly machines kill people. More like people implant the idea to kill people into the machines.
Oh my God, is this the one with Milosevic?
Yes. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Very 90s reference too.
Yeah. Yeah. So the reason why this is the one with Milosevic.
Yeah, to be clear, he's not the bad guy in the episode. Like,
Um,
that would be a hell of a twist.
yeah. That's actually how it opens is we see someone kind of like freaking out and burying a body. And we see like the guy's face of the body. And then the guy is at home. He's buried the
The
body in
body?
the kitchen.
No, the guy burying it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And someone walks into the kitchen and it's that same guy that he just killed. And so he then murders him again.
Oh God.
And then the police arrive, and the police are also the guy that he just killed. And it's like then we start to see like from his point of view, his vision like kind of glitching, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And showing like flashes of the actual cop's face, but over it is
Oh.
this other guy's face. And it turns out that's Milosevic. So
Mm.
we find out because he then ends up kind of freaking out in jail when a news report of Milosevic comes on, and and it shows his face. And so we see like, oh, he was freaking out. He was seeing everyone in his life as Vladimir Milosevic.
Slobodan Milosevic.
Wait, then no, it wasn't. Wait. Well, it was Vladimir someone. I swear to God. Maybe it wasn't Milosevic.
It totally was, though, wasn't it? Okay, so we got kind of confused because I said Milosevic's first name is Slobodan, and Helen said no, and so then we had to go sort it out, and I figured it out. It is a fictionalized version of him. So they're not actually using real Milosevic. They're using a guy with a similar name who is also a Bosnian war criminal, but they're not using his actual name. And I never noticed and just assumed it was actually Milosevic. So,
Yeah, same, except that I remember looking at his first name and just like
and it,
connecting that and then not because it's like Vladimir Mirosevic or something like
yeah, yeah,
Mirosevic. So okay, so
yeah. So
not
mystery solved. It is a fictionalized version of Milosevic.
right. But this is actually the only time that matters. He's not in
Yeah,
the
I
episode.
know, which is why it took us a while to figure out the issue, I
Yeah.
think.
Um, so okay. So yes, so it's the one with Milosevic, except not really.
Except not. Yeah.
Okay. So Mulder originally finds out about this because he's tipped off to the case by plainclothed man. This is not one of the syndicate members I'm super familiar with, and so I had to
Yeah.
look up who it was supposed to be,
Yeah.
but a member of the syndicate.
Okay.
And he,
Why are they tipping him off about this?
well, see, this is the thing. This is why it was actually a really interesting episode.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a conspiracy episode.
Huh.
Um,
I
and
had no idea.
yeah,
Or I forgot, I guess. I don't know.
yeah. And he is tipping them off. And so Mulder brings it up to Scully, and they go to visit the man in the psychiatric hospital because he's saying that everyone looked like this Bosnian war leader,
Yeah.
whoever you want to call him. And that's when he like they see him freak out when fake Milosevic comes on TV.
Ah, okay.
And so Mulder is interested not just because of being tipped off, but also because there also was a babysitter in the same neighborhood that recently attacked the kids she was watching because she thought they were wolves.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like it must have been mean wolves. If I just saw wolves, I mean, I'd be scared because they're so much bigger than dogs. And also, why am I babysitting wolves? But it just sounds really cute. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I washed
Anyway,
my dogs last night. It was
what'd you watch?
I washed my dogs.
Oh,
It
how'd
was
it go?
I mean, it went exactly as you'd expect when Leo was like this poor sodden rat who just like stood still and stared at us and looked real sweet and
Why
and
do you torture him?
yeah, and Gatsby was a menace. And his eyebrows are now not even and his beard is not even because he like wouldn't let me properly cut his face.
Oh, so you were also shearing them and whatnot.
Yeah, I gave him a little trim.
Nice.
But I was talking to Gatsby about how he's just a curly wolf. How did they get him
Oh,
so curly?
he is a curly wolf. Oh, you had to wash your wolves yesterday.
Yes, I did. And one of them did a good job. So they go to the man's house, the murderer's house. And we kind of see someone, a cable repair person, working on the cable lines, and they notice inside the guy's house, they notice that there's like all these videotapes. Like he has like just a bunch of tapes.
Hmm.
And so they take them back to the hotel and we see them that night watching them. And it's like all these news recordings, or that seems like a, it's all these tapes recording news time. Why is this?
You mean he videotaped, he recorded? What? Yeah, it is getting weird. The news was on TV. He put a tape in and hit record. These are those tapes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like a bunch of the Bosnian guy, the
Okay.
Milosevic.
It occurs to me that, I mean, it makes sense they'd use a fictional version of Milosevic so that they didn't have to like somehow get his face on these people. Like
Yeah,
that would be tough, especially in the 90s, like
right. Yeah. Yeah. Although I think this was late enough. Oh, I don't want to start trying to pretend like I know anything about Bosnian history. Never mind. Um,
I mean, it's after the war, but it's
uh,
still, it's not like Milosevic was like, yeah,
yeah.
here's some footage of me for you to use, Chris Carter.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so they're watching the tapes. Mulder gets bored and comes over and they're kind of chatting in Scully's hotel room. And he's like, yeah, I'm done with this for a while. I'm going to bed. And she's like, no, I'm gonna stay up and keep watching. So it's like later that night. Oh, and I suppose I should say they discuss for a bit. And this also seemed very prescient to the times in the late 90s. They were talking about like Scully was thinking that maybe because of kind of being obsessed with this guy and all the violence and stuff, that he was being influenced into violence.
Oh,
So,
very like, I mean, this is pre-Columbine, but like, Marilyn Manson made people
yes,
shoot people sort of thing. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Video games make people violent, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so later that night, Scully's watching the tapes and she goes out to go get some ice from the ice machine, which is outside.
Which, side note, ice machines, if I may.
Sure.
Somebody brought up to me recently that like, how ice machines are. And like, okay, the type where you scoop the ice out.
Yeah, like in a lab.
Is that what you do in a lab? We don't have ice machines in my labs.
Oh, yes, you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do?
Oh,
No.
you do.
It's
They're
like,
there.
excuse me. Where are they? I feel like the type that you use where you like a giant version of a drinks dispenser seems reasonable. But like at fast forward where we used to skate, it would be like a big open thing of ice that you open and then you take a scoop and you scoop it out, right? Doesn't that seem super unsanitary to then just put in your drink?
So it depends, I think, on how it's being handled. So, like, if it's,
I feel confident that at the old skating rink it was not handled well.
oh no,
So,
no,
yeah.
absolutely. And like if that was the situation in a hotel, that would creep me out because you don't know people's habits.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like the I don't know if I've told this or why I would have. But there were reports from turn of the century Milwaukee that I've read in the book, The Healthiest City, about
Hmm.
Milwaukee at the turn of the century. Milwaukee actually used to be it like its phrase was, or its catchphrase, I don't know, was the healthiest city because
Oh.
Milwaukee had one of the first public health programs, and so it went through this period of time in the early 1900s of being extremely healthy, partially because it had a director of public health that was from the Socialist Party.
Oh.
And yeah, so I don't know. I think it's super interesting. But from that book, Judith Leavitt is the author. She talks about reports from the newspapers of how people would get their milk so there'd be like a horse drawn carriage and there'd be
That was a weird, weird pause. I'm like, they milk the horses. That's what you're gonna tell me. It's horse milk. Okay. All right.
No.
There'd be a horse.
Um, there'd be there'd be a horse-drawn cart.
Okay.
There'd be a big giant jug of cow milk on the
Hmm.
cart. And the citizens of Milwaukee would come out with their pails and dunk the pail
Mm.
into the milk jug
Yeah.
by one with it just, everyone's got their hand and their jug and they
Ooh.
dip it in the
Yeah.
and so disease would spread. That's the moral of the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Tuberculosis. Uh,
Ah.
but if it's like it doesn't bother me if it's like a restaurant where it's closed and it's trained people that are
If
there.
it's trained people, I agree. I do think
If
it's
it's just
different.
random people, then I have a very big problem with it.
It is possible that my concern comes from that episode of The Office of Jim and Pam's wedding, where at the end of it, Kevin sticks his feet in one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It should have come from the fact that I used the ice from Fast Forward Skating Rink, which, I mean,
Yeah.
was known for being disgusting for like so many different other ways. Um,
Yeah.
and I would put it in my water bottle.
Ooh. Ooh.
They didn't have air conditioning, so sometimes it was just,
Yeah, that's fair.
but no,
No.
it's not. It's not good. No, it's not. Yeah, it'd be like, oh, there was a Friday night skate. Just gotta peel this Band-Aid off the floor or whatever.
Oh. Oh,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm so sorry. I imagine that the ice machine has almost nothing to do with this episode of the X-Files, but I had to interrupt.
That is correct. Yes. So she's going outside to get ice, which also seems unsanitary, but that's a whole other thing. And she sees in a car kind of across the parking lot, Mulder sitting in the driver's seat of possibly their car, talking to cigarette smoking man who's in the passenger seat.
Whoa.
Yeah. So she doesn't she goes back inside her hotel room and she talks to Mulder in the morning and asks him like did you move the car last night?
Yeah.
And he said no. And she like clearly doesn't believe him and think
Yeah, yeah.
um and so then we see another murder occur where a woman thinks she sees her husband in a hammock with another woman. Um,
And
but
she kills him?
yeah,
I mean,
right. Yeah, no good, but still not.
I know. I mean, I'm like, okay, I guess this is like she should belong in the musical Chicago.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And in reality, it was her neighbor, not her husband.
ooh.
And it was not another woman, it was a golden retriever.
Does the golden retriever live?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, good. I mean, I know priorities, but
Standing there all happy,
oh,
frankly.
oh God. It's I imagine it thinking, I'm acting.
Yeah.
Aw.
Um, and so they're investigating, and Mulder sees that same cable repair person near the house. And so he runs after him, and the guy escapes. So
Mm.
Mulder, being Mulder, starts climbing up the television pole.
Yes.
Not television pole. Yes, television pole, cable pole. I don't know.
It's a pull.
Telephone.
Telephone.
I don't know.
I feel like basic language around 90s technology is a problem right now.
Yeah.
News recordings, television pole. But yeah, I remember him climbing up that pole and thinking, classic Mulder. Yeah.
And he notices that there are like these tubes in the box that's up there.
Is it the internet?
I don't know.
Do you remember that senator who said the internet is not a dump truck? It's a series of tubes.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's some I think he's from Alaska and is kind of obviously a dumbass, and he's famous for describing the internet as not a dump truck, a series of tubes. He also said, and I feel this does not get enough repetition, he said, my staff sent me an internet last week, but I only got it today.
Who is?
Oh gosh. Yeah, so a lot of times, sometimes I'll see a truck with a bunch of tubes and I think, is it the internet or not?
I do remember when I first learned about.
Ted Stevens. Ted Stevens.
Oh, is this a current senator?
2006
Oh,
is when he said it. He is uh, dead.
okay.
So he's not a current senator.
Okay.
That
Um,
would be an X-file.
yeah.
It's really weird. I've talked, I think, to you, obviously I've talked to you, but also on the podcast about the town Whitby in England, where part of Dracula took place and part of uh, Bram Stoker lived there for a while he was writing Dracula. And so we did part of our vampire tour there. And it's this really, really cool small town on the coast in northern England and like Yorkshire. And it's got these really dramatic cliffs and it has this whalebone arch, it's called. And it's, I think, fake now, but it's like on this top of this cliff. And you walk through it and there's like a little plaque that's a thank you to Ted Stevens. And yeah, and I didn't recognize his name right away, and now that I've read it, I do. But yeah, Adam, when we saw it, was like, "That's the series of tubes guy. Why is his name here?"
So weird. It's got to be a different one.
No, 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 no. It
Wait,
is
what?
him. It's him because it has something to do with artifacts from Alaska that he like from the like old-timey whaling times, but something that Native Americans living in Alaska did that he like agreed to have some partnership with people in Whitby, something for history. And I realize that's super vague because I don't remember, but it
Yeah.
is absolutely him. And it is
Whoa.
specifically because it's Alaska and on the coast in a northern region that they had some similarities or something.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So yeah, the internet, it's a series of tubes, not a dump truck.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Um, this, I believe, is television, not
Mm.
internet.
Okay.
Also tubes are
It is
involved.
also tubes. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay.
And one of them looks way newer than the others and is a slightly different shape. So
Okay.
Mulder takes it.
Yeah.
And and him and Scully talk a little bit, and it's a bit of like a we can tell Scully is not trusting him. So, like,
Hmm.
oh, why don't I take this to Agent Pendrell? And Mulder's like, no, no, I'll take it. And you can tell she's, you know, not sure what he's doing.
Yeah.
And so Mulder brings it to the lone gunman,
Hmm.
and they tell him it's emitting some sort of signal. And so Mulder calls Scully to tell her that.
What sort of signal? Like a
Like
electromagnetic wave or
no, like a I don't know, TV blinky thing.
the cord is?
No, it's not a cord, it's a tube.
Sorry. That's right. Because it was a series of tubes.
Like a tube, like a tube amp. Like a
I'm not married to a musician.
like a God, that's all I got. Where else?
Is
Uh,
it hollow?
uh
Like a pipe?
no, you can let me find a picture.
Oh, like vacuum tubes? I've Googled valve amplifier.
Um
Why?
so kind of it's opaque and tube amps usually have, but like kind of like these guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I showed her a picture. Well, you can all just Google it.
Google tube amp. There you
Yeah,
go.
I've done
Yeah.
my best to try to explain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Okay, I'm sorry. I will stop focusing on things that really, truly
yeah,
don't matter to this
yeah.
episode. It's emitting some sort of signal, even though it's not like plugged into anything, though.
Well, so they plug it into something and it's emitting a signal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to a TV. Yeah. So it's like making the see, this is where we got lost. Like the wavy bits, like
It's making the wavy bits?
like what was that movie with Michael Keaton?
Oh, with those guys with the hockey sticks?
No. What?
No?
I don't know.
Okay.
White Noise, wasn't it?
White noise. Didn't it have guys with hockey sticks? Oh my God, how are we ever going to get through this episode? Didn't it have like
I don't
some
know.
hockey players from hell? Or am I mixing it up with a different film?
No, I think you're mixing it up. No, white noise was like ghosts are communicating through the TV through like the crackly static. Static is the word I'm looking for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Okay.
What if we're gradually losing our vocabulary
Oh
and
no.
our podcast is going to be able to be analyzed by someone?
Oh no.
Yeah, and we won't figure it out until we've lost the word analyzed and we'll be like, listen, podcast good. Smile. Yeah.
Um,
Okay, there's nothing about hockey players in this. I don't know what the hell I'm thinking of.
are you thinking of Beetlejuice?
I don't think that has any hockey players either.
I don't know. Anyway,
Jesus Christ. I Googled hockey players from hell.
yeah.
Nothing.
Oh,
But it did say people also ask, is the number 69 allowed in the NHL?
oh,
So,
is it?
any oh, I didn't look.
Oh.
I'm not Googling that though.
Fair.
Um yes.
Mulder calls Scully,
Yeah, just keep going.
yes, who is growing more and more paranoid about
Okay.
what he's up to.
Yeah.
And while they're on the phone, she hears some like clicking noises like you associate with phone tapping.
Yeah.
And so after she gets off the phone with Mulder, we see her like frantically searching around the hotel room and like looking in all the, oh crap, it's happening again. All the like,
Sockets?
yeah, thanks. Sockets and like under the lamps and in the phone itself, like she's looking for where this tapping or monitoring, could be coming from.
Got it.
So Mulder knocks at her door and Scully shoots at him and runs
Hmm.
off.
Okay.
And so Mulder thinks she's suffering, and she is, from some sort of paranoia, psychosis sort of episode.
Hmm.
So he goes back to the lone gunman, and they believe that the device that was in the cable is emitting some sort of like mind control stuff.
Hmm.
So like subliminal messaging that is making people increasingly paranoid.
So it is basically sending that to the TV. Like it's basically okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they're showing Mulder these patterns, etc., and how the subliminal messages are being passed through the TV
Hmm.
waves or whatever. And they're like speculating, like, well, why wasn't this affecting Mulder? And he wasn't watching as much of them, if you recall.
Oh yeah, he was like done with it.
Yeah, but he also, and I don't think we ever knew this. He says, well, is the color of it affecting it? Because he has red-green color blindness.
No, I don't think they ever said that before.
Yeah, no, I didn't think so either. So that was, I don't know, interesting. And I feel like, I don't know, I'd like to see if there's actual evidence of that. Like,
In other episodes, and it wasn't just convenient here. Yeah.
um, but so Mulder gets a call. So there these subliminal messages being sent through the TV, right? And Scully had shot at him last we heard of her.
Right.
So the police find a body that they believe to be Scully and call Mulder.
What?
But Mulder goes and confirms that it's not actually her.
Hmm.
Which was kind of like a weird, like it only took like a minute. I kind of felt like, I don't know, it was like a weird sort of throwaway almost. And so Mulder had contacted Scully's mother when she was missing. And so he goes over to her house and Scully is there.
Oh,
And her mom isn't going to let Mulder in at first, but Mulder kind of pushes past her and Scully is there and draws her gun on him.
oh boy.
And is still like very much suffering under her paranoia. So like
Yeah.
they don't ever explicitly say this, but like the idea is she thought he was working with Cancer Man, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she's saying like you're the one who put the implant in me. You're,
Oh God.
all along, and is like,
Yeah.
she, says that she never trusted, that Mulder never trusted her, and, blames him for her abduction. And Scully's mom eventually kind of calms her down. And then she's in the hospital. So next then we see is like they got Scully to the hospital.
Okay.
And so she's in the hospital bed and they're kind of talking to each other, and she's like clearly better or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Um, and Mulder saying that he thinks that this subliminal messaging was bringing out whatever people's fears were into these paranoid delusions. So, like the woman who was afraid of her husband cheating on her saw her husband cheating on her,
Yeah.
and that apparently the guy who was having the delusions about fake Milosevic, apparently his parents were Holocaust survivors, and that he was can't remember what he said, like he was possibly Eastern European, or there was like some sort of other connection that made him particularly afraid
Okay. Got it.
of him. And so, did Scully, whatever, kind of deep down worry about Mulder betraying her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
This sort of reminds me of the episode Blood in a way, where
I
that's
can't remember that.
that's the technology gone wrong one, where like
Oh yeah, you saw that.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
season 2. It's the one that we found out about Applefest in Franklin, Pennsylvania.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's where like people are already nervous about something and then the electronics start showing messages. Like this woman is nervous going into the mechanics and he's an honest guy, but it's late at night and she's creeped out and she thinks he's attacking her, so she kills him. And
Yeah. Yes.
there's like that guy who is claustrophobic in an elevator and sees messages that say like you're no air and whatever.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is similar. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like crop dusting of what they think are pesticides that have like LSD or something in them, which is why I thought this episode might be going there, but then I went, no, we've done that. I swear we've done that episode where, it relates to, MK Ultra and stuff
Right.
like that. So this all seems very like a sister episode with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And except some more conspiracy-ish.
Mm. hmm
So Mulder tries to contact plainclothes man.
Okay.
And he is having little success doing it.
Okay.
Eventually, this I kind of missed. I don't know if this was a everything's too dark situation or
Yeah. Yeah.
but he tracks him to an empty hotel room where he finds cigarettes in the ashtray. And so he, said cigarette smoking man, etc. And so using like the phone log for the room, like so he was no longer in the hotel, and so like using like the seeing where that number had called out from, like what from the hotel phone, what calls had been made from that room. He tracks them to a house then where Mulder is presuming where he lived or was going to, and he sees him talking to a cable repairman. So Mulder goes into the house and shots are fired, and Mulder finds both the cable repairman and plainclothes man dead.
Ooh, whoa.
With X there.
Oh, God damn it. God damn it.
Uh-huh.
God damn it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm starting to feel like maybe I'm paranoid and I think that something's been set up where only you see X and he's not real, or like you've controlled things so that I can't see X. If I were on that drug or whatever, or
Yeah.
had that tube in one of my sockets, I would think that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I wasn't even expecting this one to be conspiracy.
That is exciting when that happens.
No, yeah, it was a good episode.
What
Yeah.
is X doing there? My God. So he's the one who killed this guy and the cable repairman.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, and one thing I noted that I thought was interesting when they're talking about when Mulder and Scully are talking in the hotel or not the hotel room, the hospital room, um, Scully says something like that cancer man, that man who's always smoking cigarettes, which I think is like the first time we hear him referred to as that.
I think you're right.
I thought that was kind of like a fan base reference to him. Um,
I
but
wonder if at that point, um,
it had
it
been.
was like it had come from the fandom and then they were using it or something.
Yeah, I don't know, but I thought that was interesting. And
Yeah.
again, I didn't even remember them referring to him that way, like possibly ever. So yeah, so to be noted.
Yeah.
So X is there and he shot both the men. Um,
Uh,
and so X tells him that he had essentially used this third party to inform Mulder of the case. Um, but and knowing also that he had orders to kill the men, and so Mulder wouldn't be able to put things together in time.
Wait, can
Or
you just
something.
repeat all of that? I did not understand.
I no, same.
Oh,
Like
because honestly, I just had an idea and I got distracted by my idea, and I want to tell you about my idea, but I'll wait.
okay, so first of all, I'm looking over my notes again, and I apologize, but it was this other doctor who might know more about Scully's condition that was that he was um that was shot by X. So it was not plainclothes man. They looked
Oh, okay.
reasonably similar.
Well, they had plain clothes probably.
Yeah, that's true. Um, so it was this doctor who knew more about these kind of mind control stuff, I guess, or more about
Okay.
Chloe's condition. Um, so Mulder is mad at X because now he doesn't have evidence, right, of the mind control stuff. Um, but he says his orders were always to kill the cable guy and the doctor. He had hoped that Mulder would finish his investigation first, but Mulder hadn't. So, like, he had given Mulder that information through Plainclothes Man in the hopes that Mulder would solve things first, knowing that he had to eventually kill these people and he couldn't hold off forever.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, kind of got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and so Mulder, a few weeks later, we see him like turning in the report on his case, and doesn't have much information as usual. And Scully tells him and Scanner that the cable guy didn't have any sort of like a record. And the only doctor with the same name, Stroman was the name of the doctor. So the
Hmm.
only doctor with a medical license in that name was from Falls Church, who died in 1978.
Wait, what?
So like the doctor had been a fake doctor,
Oh
basically.
my God. Okay.
Um, and Mulder is kind of monologuing a bit about how the killer remains unknown and how, etc. I don't know. And so then we see X walking alone and getting into a car with cigarette smoking man.
Oh God.
So an X tells cigarette smoking man that, all the stuff has been removed. Essentially, all the tech from the cable boxes has been removed. But that Mulder still has a transmitter. Um,
Oh.
and that but that the person who originally made contact with Mulder has been eliminated. So he did also kill plainclothes guy.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's it. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I did find a lot of it. So I did a little research into subliminal messaging.
Yeah.
thinking that what I was going to find was like pseudoscience. And what I found was a bunch of marketing stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Isn't it like Coke and the ice cubes spell the word sex or something?
What? Are you thinking of in that like rumor that the sand in Aladdin stuff?
No,
No,
no, I
in
might
the
have the
Lion
word
King?
wrong, but I feel like there's some
Oh,
example of like ice cubes like melting
really?
and look, I might have the word. I'm not, oh Jesus Christ. I almost just Googled ice cube sex. Um, of sex and ice cubes, the great subliminal advertising scare. Ice Cube sex, the truth about subliminal advertising. I'm not insane.
Okay.
That's important.
Weird.
I am mixing it up though. Apparently, it was they would flash messages that said drink Coca-Cola and at a theater or something like that. Um, I can't figure, I'm just glancing at this. I don't know. I can't find anything about actual ice cubes though, but clearly there's something, oh, supposedly an image was snuck into an image of an ice cube or something.
Huh.
It was like a rumor. I've clearly got things mixed up, and maybe the sand from Aladdin is also figuring into my brain, but there was something with ice cubes.
I think
So,
it's actually Lion King, but yeah.
oh,
Now
okay.
that I said that. Um, but I mean, like, I didn't expect to find so much like this is how we subliminally message people.
Oh,
Like,
like a how-to guide?
kinda, yeah, like, how it works. I don't know. It felt shadier. But
Is there any proof that it actually works?
no, what I found was an article from the journal Neuroscience of Consciousness, which I didn't have a chance to check out the journal and see how reputable it is.
Hmm.
Um, but it's from 2016. And it seems the information provided seems relatively reputable. It's an actual
Okay.
study um, by Simon Rooch from Switzerland,
Okay.
2016. And looking at the long-term effects of decision making from subliminal messaging. And they found that there are long-term effects. So they were looking at like not just like the immediate returns of messaging, but the
Hmm.
long-term, like would this after a delay, would you still be getting the same message from what you just watched,
Hmm.
essentially? And yes. So like they're like
Oh, and they say yes, you would.
right.
They say it works.
Yeah. Yeah. So they were looking at like they had one experiment where they showed a picture of a man's face and said manager, and then a picture of a different man's face and said postman. And these were like subliminal messages that were sent to people or somehow.
Like they watched a video and it was implanted in there in brief little bursts or something like that.
Yeah, let's see. Each stimulus was presented 12 times for 15 milliseconds during one unconscious encoding episode of 6-second duration.
I
Yeah.
spaced out. It was short. That's what you were saying. Yeah.
Yes.
I did take my Adderall. I don't know, it doesn't seem to have taken though. Right.
And yeah, short bursts in between
Okay.
other things they were watching.
Okay.
And so then there was a delay period, and then they were asked to make a decision. They showed the two men's faces again and said which one makes higher income than the other, or which one makes it more.
Oh.
So it was like a slightly different question that they like
Hmm.
were having to infer from the manager
Yeah.
postman face.
Hmm.
And people would make the quote unquote accurate or correct
Hmm.
prediction. So their decision making was long term related to this.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So is the question like, should we somehow buy ad space and like have like listen to We Want to Believe, listen to We Want to Believe, and like a picture of my face and your face, and it says like really good podcaster, listen,
I think that's the message.
fund.
Yeah. Um, yeah. But yeah, I was thinking more in terms of like I don't know, creepy political stuff, thinking about
Yeah.
all the like,
I mean, I guess it's pretty creepy without being subliminal.
yeah,
So, I mean, it almost feels like more
yeah.
sophisticated than they even need to bother with because the hate is just right there. I was also remembering, didn't they? And I don't know if this is true, but there were rumors that The Exorcist had like scary subliminal messages in the first version of it or something.
That's a rumor that I have also heard. I don't know if that's true or not.
Okay.
But I have never seen that movie because I have always been far too scared and I know my limits.
It is, I mean, one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
Yes, you,
And really well done
yeah.
and really scary.
I mean, I remember you describing one of the scenes to me.
Why would I do that to you? I regret some of my past actions.
I mean, I probably was like begging you to. I was probably like wanting to be scared, but
Yeah.
because I think I was maybe, I don't know, 12 or 13. I wasn't like
Oh, okay.
I mean,
And I don't suppose I described a scene where like her mother takes Reagan to the doctor or
no.
priest walks up the stairs. No, it does involve stairs though, doesn't it?
Yes, it
Sorry.
sure does. Yes. And I like, oh my God, even that description is so horrifying to me that I felt confident I'm never going to watch that movie. And I feel okay about it.
I think that's the right call.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
not reading that article about Neil Gaiman. And that, I mean, that I'll just say we don't support Neil Gaiman anymore. Not that we were supporting him officially before. Turns out he's really bad and lots of sexual assault.
Oh my
Um,
God. Really?
like lots and lots of credible accusations of horrible stuff.
What? Really?
Yeah, very recently came out this article, and people said,
Whoa.
don't like, I'm glad I know it, but don't read this article because it will, like, unless you're ready to have your day ruined, because, like, I can't unknow this stuff. It's so disturbing. So I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go, good enough. I trust you. That sucks. It sucks
Oh,
when people are actually horrible.
oh man, that's really surprising.
Yeah, I know. I hate that when it's a
Yeah.
like somebody you wouldn't expect. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Wow. Huh.
yeah,
Dang it.
very disappointing. Yeah, very bad though. And yeah, I don't think you should watch The Exorcist. And
Yeah.
I don't think it needs subliminal messages to be scary either,
Yeah.
because it's so scary on its own, with scenes like the one that I told you about for some reason.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I remember like very much wanting, like, I wanted to see it. I wanted to be scared. I wanted you to tell me about it. Like, no, you probably shouldn't have, but like,
You like when kids are like, no, 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 you, I can handle it. Tell me, I
yeah.
can watch scary
Yeah.
stuff. And you're like, no, you're a kid. You don't understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It is funny that like everything we don't let our kids watch or whatever they think is scary. Um, they think that like all things they're not allowed to see or do, it must be because it's scary, which I think is funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like William will sometimes go to our bookshelves and be like, "Ooh, can I read this? Can I read this?"
Ooh,
And
yeah.
and I'll be like, "No, you can't read, A Court of Thorns and Roses." And he'll be like, "Oh, but I've seen Star Wars. I've seen scary things." Like, no, not why.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's awesome.
Anyway, so next week is Talitha
Kumi.
Kumai.
But I have an idea.
Oh,
And if you don't like this idea, Zach's going to cut it right here, and no one's ever going to know what the idea was.
okay. Deal.
Just for kicks. I don't know how it'll go, but what if we record it live at our usual time and we share a link and people can come in and like they won't be on video, but they'll be able to talk in the comments and I'll manage that and we see if people would like to come and listen live.
My only reservation is that what if no one knows this?
No one will know
Oh, that's true.
because we'll still release it the following Friday. Anyway, listeners, you wouldn't do that. You'd show up.
All right, sure. Next week is finals week for me. So
Okay.
I just have
Jesus, I have 3 more weeks.
Oh, ugh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Normal time?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
2 p.m. Central
Yeah. Although I'm a
on
little
Tuesday.
disappointed we don't get to just cut that off and not big of a cliffhanger. I was kind of hoping to say no, but
I'm trying to think if I can come up with another really
know.
bad idea that I can propose. Like,
they'll never know. We don't have to have one.
oh my God, that's so true. Maybe I did, and we cut it already. And this is all just to cover that fact.
Yeah.
And this is indeed my second idea. And my first idea, you're not ever even going to find out about. We Want to Believe is hosted by Helen Werner and Liz Holden. It's produced by Zach Werner. The We Want to Believe theme music was created and recorded by Zach Werner. Find us at wewanttoBelievePod.com, on Instagram at wewanttoBelievePod, or send us an email at wewanttoBelievePod@gmail.com.